Hello students, welcome to Insta Out's science class where we believe in democratizing education for all. Today we are going to begin with an exciting topic, the human eye and the colorful world. In this video, we'll understand the function and the structure of the human eye, uncovering how it helps us perceive the world around us. Starting with the function. It is the sense organ responsible for vision, enabling us to see and interpret the world around us. The human eye is the primary sensory organ that enables us to see objects clearly. It helps us perceive colors, light and objects at both near and far distances. Now, coming to the structure. The human eye is similar to a camera. Just like a camera captures images through its lens system and records them, the eye also captures images using its internal lens system. This lens system forms an image on the retina, which is the light-sensitive layer located at the back of the eye. The retina plays a crucial role in helping us see by receiving the light signals and sending them to the brain through the optic nerve. Also, the eye is almost spherical in shape with an approximate diameter of 2.3 centimeters. This rounded shape helps in focusing light properly onto the retina for clear vision. Moving ahead, let's now talk about the components of the human eye. A human eye is made up of several parts, each having a specific role to play. Let's take a look at some of the key components. Cornea, iris, pupil, eye lens and ciliary muscles. These are among the most important parts of the human eye. Now, let's understand their functions one by one. Starting with the cornea. It is a transparent membrane through which the light enters the eye. So, what is the function of the cornea? It acts as the outermost protective covering, and because of its transparency, it allows light to pass into the eye. It is due to this transparent property of the cornea that light can enter and move further inside the eye. Next comes the iris. It is a muscular diaphragm located just behind the cornea. It controls the amount of light entering the eye by adjusting the size of the pupil. Next, let's move on to the pupil. It is the opening at the center of the iris, and its main function is to control the amount of light entering the eye. This is important because the eye needs the right amount of light for clear vision, not too much, not too little. In dim light, the pupil widens to let in more light. In bright light, it narrows to reduce the light entering the eye. This automatic adjustment protects the eye and helps maintain clear vision in different lighting conditions. Next is the eye lens. Its function is to focus light rays in such a way that a clear image is formed on the retina. This clarity is essential for proper vision. The eye lens bends the light appropriately so that the image falls exactly on the retina. We can also refer to this as the lens system of the eye, which helps us see objects clearly at different distances. Lastly, we have the ciliary muscles. These muscles are responsible for changing the curvature of the eye lens, and when the curvature changes, the focal length of the lens also changes. This adjustment helps the eye to focus on near or distant objects, a process known as accommodation. Next, we turn to one of the most vital components of the human eye, which is the retina. The retina is a light-sensitive membrane that lines the inner wall at the back of the eye. It functions similarly to the film in a traditional camera, serving as the surface where the image is formed and captured. When light enters the eye and reaches the retina, two types of specialized cells called rods and cones get activated. These cells are responsible for detecting light and color. The rods help us to see in dim light, while the cones allow us to see colors in bright light. Once the retina detects light through these cells, it converts the light into electrical signals, which are then sent to the brain through the optic nerve. The brain processes these signals, and that is how we are able to see the world around us. Now, let's talk about the transparent fluids inside the eye that play a crucial role in its functioning: the aqueous humor and the vitreous humor. Starting with the aqueous humor. It is a clear, watery fluid that fills the space between the cornea and the lens. It helps maintain the shape of the front part of the eye and provides essential nutrients to both the lens and the cornea. Next is the vitreous humor, a clear gel-like substance that fills the large space behind the lens and extends all the way to the retina. Together, the aqueous humor and the vitreous humor help maintain the eye's shape, keeping the eyeball firm and properly rounded. They also ensure that light passes through the eye without obstruction, allowing it to reach the retina clearly and accurately, which is essential for forming a sharp image. Now, let's talk about the optic nerve. Its primary function is to connect the retina to the brain. When light enters the eye and forms an image on the retina, the rods and cones in the retina convert the light into electrical signals. These signals are then carried by the optic nerve all the way to the brain. Once the signals reach the brain, they are processed and interpreted, and that's how we are able to see meaningful images of the world around us. Let's now understand how the human eye functions using a simple object like a hammer to trace the path of light. Imagine you're looking at a hammer. The light rays bouncing off the hammer first enter your eye through the cornea, the transparent curved layer at the very front. Because of its shape and clarity, the cornea bends these rays slightly and directs them inward. Next, the light travels through the aqueous humor and reaches the pupil, the dark circular opening at the center of the iris. The iris, which is the colored part of the eye, functions like a smart controller. It adjusts the size of the pupil based on the surrounding light, ensuring that just the right amount enters the eye. For instance, in bright sunlight, the pupil contracts to limit excess light, while in dim conditions, it expands to allow more light in. From there, the light reaches the eye lens, a transparent and flexible structure responsible for focusing. With the help of the ciliary muscles, the lens changes its curvature to adjust the focal length, ensuring the incoming rays from the hammer converge accurately. Now, here is an interesting part. The image formed on the retina is real and inverted, just like the ones we've seen in lens diagrams during ray optics. The retina contains photoreceptor cells called rods and cones, which convert this image into electrical signals. These signals are then transmitted through the optic nerve to the brain. Where the final step occurs, the brain interprets the signals, flips the image upright, and instantly recognizes it as a hammer, complete with shape, color, and detail. All of this happens in just a fraction of a second, as the eye and brain work together seamlessly to transform reflected light into a meaningful visual experience. Moving ahead to a concept called power of accommodation, it is the ability of the eye to adjust its focal length to clearly focus on objects at different distances. This adjustment is done by the ciliary muscles, which change the curvature of the eye lens, thus changing its focal length. When we look at a nearby object, the ciliary muscles contract, making the lens more curved. This increases the lens curvature, shortening the focal length so the image forms clearly on the retina. When we look at a distant object, the ciliary muscles relax, causing the lens to become flatter. This increases the focal length, allowing distant images to focus correctly on the retina. This process is called accommodation and helps us switch focus between near and far objects by adjusting the lens shape and focal length to the nearer and farther point. Let's talk about the minimum distance for clear vision. For a normal eye, the minimum distance for clear vision is 25 centimeters. At this distance, the eye can clearly focus on objects or images without strain. When the object is farther away, from 25 centimeters to infinity, the eye can still focus clearly by adjusting the lens. This is the far point of the eye. When you visit an ophthalmologist, they often use a board with letters to test your vision. By asking you to read the alphabets, they determine how clearly you can see, which depends on the eye's power. If any adjustment is needed, they modify the power to help you see more clearly. When we study the power of the human eye, it is essential to understand the common defects of vision as they play a significant role in explaining how visual clarity is affected and corrected. Among these, the two major types of defects are nearsightedness, that is myopia, and farsightedness, that is hypermetropia. Starting with myopia. It is a condition in which a person can see nearby objects clearly, but distant objects appear blurred. This defect is a result of the improper focusing of light rays entering the eye. The main cause of myopia is that the image of a distant object is formed in front of the retina instead of directly on it. In a normal eye, light rays from a distant object are focused precisely on the retina, allowing us to see clearly. However, in a myopic eye, the eye's focusing system is too strong, or the eyeball is too long, causing the light rays to converge before they reach the retina. As a result, the image appears blurry. There are two primary reasons why this defect occurs. First, it may be due to an increased curvature of the eye lens, which bends the incoming light more than necessary. Second, it may result from an increased length of the eyeball, which increases the distance between the eye lens and the retina. In both cases, the focal point of the image falls short of the retina, causing distant objects to appear unclear. To correct this condition, a concave lens is used. A concave lens diverges the incoming light rays before they enter the eye, allowing the eye's lens system to then focus the light rays precisely on the retina. This correction shifts the image backwards from in front of the retina to directly on the retina, resulting in a clear and sharp image. Now that we have understood myopia, let's move ahead to discuss the second major defect of vision, hypermetropia, also known as farsightedness. In this condition, a person is able to see distant objects clearly but has difficulty viewing nearby objects which appear blurred. Hypermetropia is caused when the image of a nearby object is formed behind the retina instead of directly on it. This condition is essentially the opposite of myopia, where the image was formed in front of the retina. In both cases, whether the image is formed before or beyond the retina, it results in a visual defect because clear vision is only possible when the image is focused exactly on the retina. There are two main anatomical reasons for hypermetropia. First, it may occur due to a decreased curvature of the eye lens, which reduces the bending power of the lens. Second, it may result from a decreased length of the eyeball, which shortens the distance between the lens and the retina. Both of these conditions prevent the light rays from converging properly, causing the image to form beyond the retinal surface. To correct hypermetropia, a convex lens is used. A convex lens converges the incoming light rays before they enter the eye, allowing the eye's lens system to focus them directly on the retina. This adjustment shifts the focal point forward, bringing the image from behind the retina to precisely on it. Now that we have understood how hypermetropia works, let us move ahead to discuss another vision defect called presbyopia. It is a specific type of farsightedness that occurs as a result of natural aging of the eye. It is caused by the gradual loss of flexibility in the eye's lens, making it difficult to focus on nearby objects. In some cases, individuals may experience combined vision problems, where both nearsightedness, that is myopia, and farsightedness, that is hypermetropia, occur in the same eye. This condition affects the ability to see both near and distant objects clearly. To correct combined vision problems, bifocal lenses are commonly used. These lenses have two optical zones. The upper part is concave, used for distant vision, and the lower part is convex, used for near vision. Now, moving ahead with the topic, refraction of light through a prism. Before we begin, it is important to first understand the components of a prism. We start by identifying the vertex, which is the corner point where the edges of the prism meet. Now, observe the edges. These are the straight lines formed at the intersection of two faces, connecting one vertex to another. Next, look at the lateral faces. These are the side surfaces of the prism that connect the top and bottom faces. Lastly, we have the base of the prism, which is typically the top and bottom surface and usually determines the shape and the type of the prism. To understand how light refracts through a triangular glass prism, let us begin with the setup of the activity. First, take a sheet of white paper and fix it onto a drawing board using drawing pins so that it stays flat and stable. Now, place a glass prism on the paper in such a way that it rests on its triangular base. Using a sharp pencil, carefully trace the outline of the prism. This will help us refer back to the exact position later during the activity. Once the prism is outlined, draw a straight line PE inclined to one of the refracting surfaces, say surface AB of the prism. This line will serve as the incident ray. Now, on the line PE, place two pins at points P and Q spaced apart so that they are aligned along the direction of the incident ray. These pins help in determining the path of the incoming ray before it enters the prism. Now, observe the pins P and Q through the opposite refracting face, which is AC in this case. From the other side, carefully fix two more pins, let's say at points R and S, such that they appear in line with the images of pins P and Q. Now, this means when you look through the prism from face AC, the images of P and Q must appear in a straight line with R and S. After adjusting R and S properly, remove all the pins and also remove the prism from the paper. You will now see the pinholes marking the path of the rays. Next, extend the incident line PE until it meets the boundary of the prism at a point, which we label as E. Similarly, join the points R and S and extend that line backward until it meets the other side of the prism at point F. So now, points E and F are the entry and exit points of the ray through the prism. Join E and F with a straight line. This represents the path of the refracted ray inside the prism. Then, at both points E and F, draw perpendicular lines to the prism surfaces AB and AC respectively. These perpendiculars will help you measure the angles involved. Let's understand how light behaves when it passes through a prism by determining the angles formed during its journey. To start, draw perpendiculars to the surfaces AB and AC at points E and F. These perpendiculars, called normals, help us measure the angles formed by the light rays. The first angle, known as the angle of incidence, that is angle QEN, is formed between the incident rays PQ and the normal NN' at point E, where the light enters the prism. As the light bends inside the prism, it creates the angle of refraction, that is angle FEN', measured between the refracted ray EF and the same normal NN' at point E. When the light exits the prism through surface AC, it bends again, forming the angle of emergence, that is angle MFR, which is measured between the emergent ray RS and the normal MM' at point F. Lastly, the angle of deviation, that is angle HGF, shows how much the light path has shifted due to refraction. This angle is formed between the extended path of the incident ray EH and the emergent ray FG. With this, we come to an end of this part of the topic, Human Eye and the Colorful World. Before we end, let us recap what we've learned with our Insta Live. We began with the working of the human eye, where we understood the structure, components and the roles each part plays in enabling vision. Next, we discussed the power of accommodation. Here, we learned how the eye adjusts its lens to focus on near and distant objects. We then moved on to the defects of the human eye, including conditions like myopia, hypermetropia and presbyopia, along with their causes and appropriate corrective measures. Finally, we explored refraction through a prism, where we used a ray diagram to observe how light bends through a triangular prism. We clearly identified the angle of incidence, angle of refraction, angle of emergence and the angle of deviation. Keep watching our InstaOwl videos for more concepts from the chapter The Human Eye and the Colorful World. Thank you and goodbye.